Hi class, we're going to continue our chapter 4, Cost of Capital, in which in this video I will focus on KP, the cost of preference shares, as well as the KD, the cost of debt. Let us have a look at KP first. Okay, cost of preference shares is the required rate of return that must be earned to satisfy the preferred shareholders. Before this, we have learned that we have a common shareholders that we learn on how to estimate the cost for common equity. We have internal and external equity. So here we have another group of shareholders, which is the preferred shareholders. The fixed rate of dividend are paid before ordinary shareholders, mean that preference shares are often treated as a form of lending similar to irredeemable debentures. As the name implies, preferred shareholders are having priorities over common shareholders in terms of dividend payment. They are going to get their payment of dividend first, and if there are any excess of cash, then the company will pay dividend to the common shareholders. Okay, here what is irredeemable debenture? It is an agreement where there is no specific time period in which the borrower must pay the lender back, and usually with a favorable interest rate. In the case of a company becoming insolvent, the company is not able to repay back the debt. The debenture ensures that the lender is first to receive their funds. Okay, so kalau company tu ada masalah financial depressed, so mula-mula sekali dia kena bayar balik hutang kepada bondholders. After that, they need to pay their preferred shareholders, and kalau ada lagi lebih, baru dividen akan dibayar kepada common shareholders. Okay, the difference here between preference shares and debt, the only difference is the fact that the preference dividend payment are not tax deductible as compared to debt. The interest on debt is tax deductible. So how do we compute the cost of preference share? We still are going to use dividend growth model. The formula to find KP, this one should be formula number 6 for this chapter. KP equals to dividend divided by net market price. Okay, so here we have D, dividend, over NP, net market price. So bila di sini disebutkan sebagai net, you need to remember to exclude the flotation cost. Okay, and you also need to remember that dividend is calculated based on par value, not based on market value of share. Dividend we're going to calculate based on par value. Let us try one example. Here we have example 7. Current share price of the preferred stock is selling at 120 ringgit. So this one is the market value of shares. Dividend paid is 4 ringgit 65 cent per share. So dividend amount is given here. Additional 2% of the market value per share also need to be paid as flotation cost. So we have 2% of market value per share as a flotation cost. When we want to find the KP for this question, KP equals to dividend over net price. So dividend we have RM 4 ringgit 65 cent over market value we have here is 120 ringgit minus the flotation cost 2% of market value, 2% from 120. So you will find the answers of 0.0375, or we have KP, cost of preference shares, of 3.95%. Okay, we continue with example 8. Issue 15% preference shares. So this company is going to pay dividend at 15% for their preferred shareholders at a discount of 3% at par value. So the market value of share is at a discount of 3% from its par value. An additional fee associated with the issuance of preference share is 2% of the par value. Flotation cost here is 2% of the par value. The par value is here given to us 100 ringgit. Calculate the cost of preference share. So in order to find the KP, we need to find the D, dividend over net price. So how to find the dividend? Dividend is 15% from the par value. They are going to pay dividend 15% daripada par value over net price. So market value of share here, it says that it will be selling at a discount of 3% at par value. So I will take 3% discount. So it's actually 97% from the par value, 97% daripada RM100 minus flotation cost is 2% of par value, 2% from RM100. Okay, let us simplify this formula. 15% of 100, here we have RM 15 ringgit minus RM 97 ringgit minus RM 2 ringgit. So here KP, we are going to have final answers of 0.1579 or 15.79%. So here the important things for KP, the calculation of KP, is that you need to know, always remember that dividend is based on par value, not the market value of shares. Next, we move to the cost of debt. So it is the rate of return that a firm must pay to the lenders or creditors. This is the minimum required rate of return required by the lenders or creditors when they agreed to lend us some money. And here we have two types of cost of debt. First one, irredeemable debt. This one, if the debt, it can be in terms of debentures or bond, are to be held indefinitely, it is called a redeemable debt. Tak ada satu tempoh masa yang bila hutang tu perlu dibayar. That one, we categorize it as a irredeemable debt. On the other hand, if the debt is having a specific time, ada masa yang fix untuk dia kena bayar balik, we call it as a redeemable debt. And for redeemable debt, it will involve the cost of internal rate of return. We need to find the IRR kalau debt tu adalah redeemable. Okay, so how to compute the cost of debt, let's look at the irredeemable debt first. This one is quite simple. To find the KD, cost of debt yang irredeemable, you just need to take interest divided by net market price. This one should be formula number 7 for this chapter. Interest over net market price. And when you find KD, you need to remember that the cost of debt must be after tax, because the interest is paid before tax. Before we pay tax, we need to settle the interest payment first, so it will affect our tax payment. That's why for KD, the cost of debt, we need to take into account the after tax effect. So when you find the KD, you need to take the KD figures and times with 1 minus TC. TC here is the corporate tax rate. Okay. Now it is time to estimate the cost of debt. We have two examples here. Example 9. ABC Co. has issued a loan stock of 100 ringgit nominal value with annual interest of 9% per year in perpetuity. So when you see the word perpetuity, meaning that this debt is irredeemable. Tak ada spesifik masa untuk dia bayar balik. Based on the nominal value. So 9% based on nominal value. Current market price of the stock loan stock is 90 ringgit. What is the cost of the loan stock? So we know that to find KD equals to interest I over net price. So interest is 9% of nominal value. Nominal value here we have 100 ringgit over net price 100 ringgit. The price here we do not have flotation cost, so net price is 90 ringgit. So finish up this formula, I will get KD of 0.1 or 1%. Okay. Here in this question, it doesn't mention anything about the corporate tax rate, assuming that corporate tax is 25%. So I will find KD after tax. KD after tax equals to 0.1, 1 minus tax 0.25. Then I will get KD after tax of 0.075. Let's look at example 10. Owen has issued 10% loan notes of a nominal value of 100 ringgit. So 10% interest, nominal value is 100 ringgit. Market price is 90 ringgit, and here we have a flotation cost of 5 ringgit. Calculate the cost of this capital if the debenture is irredeemable debt. So KD equals to interest over net price. So interest here I have 10% from nominal value RM 100 ringgit over the market price is RM 90 ringgit minus flotation cost RM 5 ringgit. Therefore, we will get KD of 0.1176, and this one is before tax. So if I want to find KD after tax, I need to multiply with 1 minus tax. So this one is 0.1176 darab dengan 1 tolak 0.25. KD after tax kita akan dapat sebanyak 0.0882. we are done with the calculation of formula for irredeemable debt. What about the debt which is redeemable? How to find the cost of debt that is redeemable? So as I mentioned earlier, it will involve the interpolation of IRR, internal rate of return. And it is always more complicated because you need to work out the IRR. So banyak kerja sikit lah. And you kena ingat balik macam mana nak cari IRR. Then you have to memorize ataupun refresh balik the ways to find the NPV. Because IRR adalah bila you punya NPV is equals to 0. IRR adalah rate of return yang akan bagi kita 0 NPV. Okay, so here is the formula for IRR interpolation. So maybe you can number this formula as formula number 8 supaya senang nanti I nak refer. Okay, formula number 8 is the interpolation of IRR. We're going to begin with positive NPV rate. Kita kena ada dua rate. Satu rate yang akan bagi you positive NPV plus positive NPV, the amount of NPV yang positif divided by RM positive NPV plus RM negative NPV. Nilai NPV yang positif tu you akan tambah dengan nilai NPV yang negatif times with higher rate minus lower rate. Remember, we have two rates. Kena cari dua rates dalam you punya discount rate table. So, you kena pilih dua rates. So, you going to have one rate which is higher and another one is the lower rate. So, this one tambah dengan positive NPV rate, you akan dapat IRR. Lepas dah dapat IRR tu, kita kena cari after tax of IRR supaya you boleh determine the cost of debt for redeemable debt. Okay, it sounds a bit complicated, right? To get the IRR interpolation, but then it's okay. We're going to try two examples so that you can get clear illustration on how this IRR or the KD for redeemable debt should be working. Okay, here example 11, we have 8% interest rate of debentures at a market price of 1,200 to be issued to a new debenture holders at a par value of 1,000 ringgit. The flotation cost is estimated to be at 3% of the selling price. So, bila nak issue debentures, we need to incur flotation cost. Flotation cost dia adalah 3% daripada selling price. The debenture holders will redeem their debenture after 10 years maturity period at par value. So, it is a redeemable debt for how long? For 10 years. Selepas 10 tahun, company kena bayar balik. Ataupun selepas 10 tahun, bondholders akan redeem balik dia punya pinjaman tadi. Calculate the cost of debt if the corporate tax rate is 25%. Okay, kita akan tengok how do we work this out. So, first thing first, we need to determine the NPO. So, NPO kita tahu market value of debenture tadi 1,200 minus with flotation cost. So, market value 1,200, flotation cost dia 3% of the selling price. Dan kita dapat net market price of 1,164 ringgit. The next thing, you need to find the interest payment. So, ingat soalan dia kata tadi, interest payment dia adalah 8%. 8% daripada par value. So 8% daripada par value 1000 setiap tahun. Dia kena bayar interest on debenture tu sebanyak RM80. Okay. Dan remember, untuk IRR, we need to choose 2 rates daripada kita punya NPV table tu. And I punya recommendation is always start with 8%. Okay. Boleh je kalau you nak start guna another rate, tapi I selalunya akan start dengan 8%. Okay. So the first rate here, I nak guna 8%. Okay, masa year 1, kita kena keluarkan duit sebanyak RM1,164, the net market price. And year 1, the discount rate pada year 1 memang akan jadi 1, always 1. So 1 kat sini. So NPV, net present value, I akan dapat masa year 1, duit keluar kan, sebab kita kena bayar kan, RM1,164. Second one, here kita ada interest. Interest ni, you akan bayar secara annually. So, bila annually, setiap tahun kena bayar nilai interest yang sama, kita akan refer dekat table annuity. Sebab bayaran dia setiap tahun sama kan? Okay. So, from year 1 to year 10 untuk 8%. So, I akan tengok dekat sini 8%. Year 1 sampai year 10, jadinya discount rate this one 6.7101. I darabkan dengan RM80, I dapat NPV dia sebanyak RM536.81. Dan pada tahun terakhir, masa year 10 ni, kita dah nak redeem balik our debenture tadi tu. Redeem at par value. So, par value dia adalah 1000. So, bila nak redeem, sekali sahaja you redeem. Therefore, you tak boleh guna table annuity. You kena guna present value of RM1. Jadinya, 8% pada tahun yang ke-10. Discount rate dia adalah 0.4632. So, I darabkan dengan 1000. I dapat kat sini RM463.20. Dan I tambahkan semua ni, I dapat NPV sebanyak negatif RM163.99. So, here you nampak kat sini, nilai NPV is negatif kalau I guna 8%, rate 8%. So, here I dah dapat satu rate yang bagi I negatif NPV. I kena cari satu lagi rate yang akan bagi I positif NPV pula. So, tadi I dah start dengan 8%, I dapat negatif. So, kalau I nak dapatkan NPV yang positif, I need to reduce the rate here. Daripada 8%, I kena pilih the lower rate. So, here I nak pilih 5%. Okay. So, kalau I nak pilih 5%, I akan buat benda yang sama. Masa year 1, net market price darab dengan 1, so sama je, negatif RM1,164. Year 1 and year 10, we need to pay interest. So, annuity table 5%, tahun yang ke-10, 7.7217, yang ni. Dan tahun ke-10 nak redeem balik at par value 1000 tu. Okay, 5%, tahun yang ke-10, 0.6139. 6139 darab dengan 1000, I dapat this one. Jadinya, I dapat I punya NPV sebanyak RM67.64. So, this one is negative and this one is positive. Dah ada dua rate. Satu yang bagi I negative NPV. Another one bagi I positive NPV. So, sekarang kita dah boleh masukkan dalam formula IRR. Kita ada positive rate. Positive rate kita, rate yang bagi kita positif here adalah this one, 5%. 0.05 plus RM of positive NPV positive NPV here ada 67.64 over positif NPV 6764 tambah negatif NPV 16399 darab higher rate. So antara dua rate ni 8 dengan 5, yang higher adalah 8%, 0.08 tolak lower rate 0.05. Okay, masukkan dalam kurungan. So kira-kira balik semua, masukkan dalam you punya calculator. You should get IRR of 0.0588. So tak settle lagi, kita nak cari KD after tax. So ambil balik 0.0588. We need to times with 1 minus tax. Tax dia 25%. 1 tolak 0.25. So KD after tax is 0.0441 or 4.41%. Okay, so this is how we work out the KD for a redeemable debt. You need to do the IRR interpolation first. Okay, next, jom tengok example 12. Masih lagi redeemable debt. Kita ada issuance of a corporate bond. Bond tu at a premium of 10% from the par value. Par value is RM1,000. So, dia nak issue at a premium. Jadinya, market value dia akan jadi 110% lah daripada par value dia. 100,000 kan. Jadinya market value dia adalah RM 100,100 lah, sebab dia nak issue at a premium. 10% lebih tinggi daripada par value. Flotation cost is 5% of the issued value. Okay, so 5% daripada issued value. Interest rate is 5% per annum. Corporate bond can be redeemed at a maturity period of 10 years, selama 10 tahun. Then this suruh you calculate KD if the corporate tax rate is 25%. So this is the working. First, mula-mula cari net market price. Tadi kita dah ada market value of bond tu 1,100 minus flotation cost 5%. So kita ada sebanyak RM1,045. Second step, cari interest payment. Interest dia 5% daripada par value. So setiap tahun dia akan bayar interest sebanyak RM50. After that, the third step, you kena buat present value table. Kena pilih dua rate. Satu rate yang bagi positive NPV and another one yang bagi you negative NPV. So macam tadi juga, I kata I prefer untuk start dengan 8%. I start dengan 8%, I dapat NPV dia negatif 246.30 sen. So I tahu nak dapatkan NPV yang positif, I need to reduce the rate. Daripada 8% tu, I nak kena pilih rate yang lebih kecil daripada 8%. Dengan harapan dia akan bagi I positive NPV. So here, I choose 4%. So bila I buat NPV table, kalau I guna 4% rate, I akan dapat NPV sebanyak RM36.15, which is positif lah. So tercapailah I punya objektif nak cari dua rate, yang satu bagi positif, satu lagi bagi negatif. Then I boleh masukkan dalam IRR interpolation. Positif rate, rate yang bagi I positif NPV 4%, 0.04 tambah nilai yang positif 36.15 over 36.15 campur nilai yang negatif 246.30 darab higher rate 8 dengan 4, so higher mestilah 8 tolak lower rate 0.04 dan akan dapat IRR sebanyak 0.0451. So, dah dapat this one. Yang ni step number 4. Masih lagi kena buat step number 5. Kena cari after tax. So, yang ni I akan darabkan dengan 1 tolak 0.25. Dan I akan dapat KD after tax of 0.0338 or 3.38%. So, macam itulah juga yang you perlu buat dalam exam kalau dia suruh cari cost of debt dan debt and that debt tu is redeemable. You perlu buat 5 step ni. Okay, so we have covered the cost of common equity internal dengan external. Kita dah cari KE, KNE. Kita dah go through the cost of preference share, KP, and kita dah belajar dah macam mana nak cari KD, cost of debt. Sama ada kalau dia redeemable ataupun irredeemable. Sekarang, I bagi you 2 soalan tutorial. Satu daripada Indah Berkat, satu lagi we have Liza Bakery. I want you to attempt these 2 question. Cari dia punya KP, KE, KNE and dia punya KD tu. Dan I nak you upload your answers in the comment section below. Okay? And we are going to discuss the answers for this tutorial in class. Thank you.